That's what my wife, Claire, texted me one Thursday morning after I forgot to pick up her dry cleaning. It was supposed to be a joke, something playful maybe, but it didn't feel like one. The words sat there on my phone screen, cold and sharp like the edge of a blade. At the time I thought she was just irritated. We'd both been working long hours, barely talking except to discuss bills or chores. But looking back, that message wasn't about dry cleaning. It was about everything that was already cracking beneath the surface of our marriage. And a week later, she'd hear those exact same words, but from someone else entirely. Claire and I had been married 8 years. We met at a college networking event. Me, a software engineer. Her, a rising HR specialist with a kind of confidence that filled a room. She was ambitious, brilliant, a planner through and through. If she wanted something, she didn't chase it, she orchestrated it. I loved that about her once. It made me feel safe, grounded. But somewhere along the way, that same confidence turned into distance. She stopped asking about my day. Our dinners became quiet, mechanical affairs where we scrolled through our phones instead of talking. Still, I told myself it was normal. Marriages had seasons, right? Not every day could be like the honeymoon. But then came the signs. It started with the secrecy. The sudden screen tilts when I walked into the room, the late-night work calls she took on the patio. She started dressing up for work more than usual. Perfume at 7 a.m., lipstick in the car mirror, phone tucked face down every time she came home. And the worst part. She acted guilty while accusing me. "You've been distant, Ryan," she said one night, her voice sharp as she stood by the sink, arms folded. "You don't even look at me anymore." I remember blinking at her, confused. "What are you talking about? You're the one always on your phone." "Work," she said quickly. "Not that you'd understand." Then she walked off, leaving me staring at the reflection of our crumbling marriage in the kitchen window. The message, "You're on thin ice," came the next morning. I laughed bitterly when I saw it, typed back "sorry, I'll do better," and went on with my day. But the thought of her tone, her words, stuck with me. That weekend I decided to surprise her. I took a day off work, cleaned the house, made her favorite dinner, steak with rosemary butter and mashed potatoes, and lit candles. She came home late. When she walked in, she froze, not with delight, but with a flash of panic. "Ryan, what's all this?" I smiled nervously. "Dinner. Just us." She hesitated, her phone buzzing in her hand. She glanced down, frowned, and tucked it away. "I told you I had a late project tonight. Claire, it's Friday." Her eyes flicked to the table, then to me. "Can we not do this right now?" The next moment, her phone buzzed again, loud, insistent. Reflexively, I looked at the screen before she could snatch it away. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow, Redheart." Her eyes widened, a split second of raw fear before the mask came back on. "It's not what you think," she said too quickly. I didn't say anything. Couldn't. I just turned, walked into the kitchen and sat down. The air was thick, suffocating. She followed me in, trying to sound calm, but her voice trembled. "Ryan, listen to me." I looked up, my chest tight. "Who is he?" "Ryan." "Who is he, Claire?" She hesitated, and that was answer enough. That night, she packed a bag and left. No shouting, no screaming. Just the soft click of the door as she walked out of the house we'd built together. I spent that weekend in silence, staring at the text thread we'd built over 8 years. Hundreds of "I love yous." Thousands of pictures and one final message. "You're on thin ice." By Monday, she'd stopped responding altogether. My calls went straight to voicemail. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think. I checked her social media, desperate for a clue. Nothing. Then, on Wednesday, I got an unexpected call from Mark, one of her coworkers. "Ryan," he said awkwardly. "Hey man. Look, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but things are getting messy here." "What do you mean?" He sighed. She's been spending a lot of time with her boss. Late nights, closed-door meetings, coffee runs that take hours. He paused. "People are talking." I closed my eyes, nausea rising. "Her boss?" "Yeah. Adam Reynolds. The VP." "Adam." I remembered him from the company holiday party. Tall, charming, divorced. The kind of man who smiled like he already owned the room. I'd caught the way he looked at her that night, the way her laughter stretched just a little too long when he told a joke. I didn't want to believe it. But now I couldn't deny it. A week passed before I saw her again. She showed up at the house one evening, unannounced. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her hair unkempt, not the polished Claire I knew. "Can I come in?" she asked softly. I stepped aside, silent. She sat at the kitchen table, the same table where she used to make to-do lists, pay bills, talk about our future. Now she just stared at her hands. "Ryan, I messed up." Her voice cracked. It started as, just talking. He understood me. He listened. I swallowed hard. And I didn't. Her eyes filled. "Not like that. That hurt worse than anything." She took a deep breath. "It got physical. Once. Maybe twice. I don't even know how it happened. But it's over. He's married. His wife found out. Char's involved. I'm probably going to lose my job." I stared at her, every word carving into me like glass. "So you blew up our marriage for someone who didn't even plan to stay?" She covered her face, sobbing. "I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to hurt you." "Then what did you mean to do?" I said quietly. "Get attention. Feel alive. You could have just said you were unhappy." She looked at me through tears. I didn't know how. The next day I got a message from Mark again. "You might want to know HR called Claire in this morning. They told her she's on thin ice." I just stared at the words. The irony wasn't lost on me. The same phrase she'd used to belittle me, now turned back on her. I wish I could say that moment brought me satisfaction. But it didn't. It just made me realize how broken everything had become. How two people who once promised forever could end up destroying each other with silence, pride, and lies. She lost her job 2 weeks later. Moved out of town soon after. No goodbye this time. Just an empty house and a forwarding address. It's been 6 months now. The house feels too quiet, too neat. Sometimes I still wake up expecting to hear her humming in the kitchen. Other times I scroll through our old photos and wonder if any of it was real, or if we were just pretending from the start. Last week I ran into Mark again. He told me Adam was forced to resign too. "HR doesn't tolerate that kind of thing anymore," he said with a shrug. I just nodded. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake the memory of her voice. "You're on thin ice." Back then I thought it was a warning to me. But now I understand. She wasn't warning me. She was confessing. Epilogue. There's a photo still hanging in my living room. Claire and me on our wedding day. She's laughing, sunlight on her face, my arm around her waist. Sometimes I think about taking it down. But I don't. Because that version of her, the one who loved me honestly before ambition and loneliness twisted her, she deserves to be remembered. And maybe, in some quiet way, that photo reminds me of what I deserve too. Not revenge. Not bitterness. Just peace. And the strength to never ignore the cracks forming beneath the surface, no matter how thin the ice feels.